Our top story, Telugu actor Allu Arjun's release from jail seems to be further delayed. Jail authorities claim they are yet to receive the order copy of the bail order. Remember, the superstar was arrested for the death of a woman in a stampede at the Pushpa 2 premiere in Hyderabad last week. Allu Arjun, along with the theatre's management and his security team, were charged for the incident. While granting the interim bail, Telangana High Court said that Allu Arjun can't be arrested like this just because he is an actor.
Allu Arjun may remain in jail today because the jail officials are in fact preparing the Class 1 barracks for Allu Arjun inside Central Gouda jail. As you know, earlier today, the Nampally court had ordered that he will go into 14-day judicial remand, after which subsequently hearing while taking up the quash petition that was filed by Allu Arjun, the Telangana High Court had granted him interim bail, but fans are waiting outside the jail premises as well as outside the residence of Allu Arjun at Jubilee Hills in Hyderabad, and there is even a video of his daughter, in fact, who is at the window as though waiting for dad to come home. But as of now, it doesn't appear that he is yet been released, so he may end up spending the night in jail, is what we understand, because they have not yet reportedly received all the documents, the procedures that need to be completed. Because this is quite an unusual situation where you have the lower court that had sent him to judicial remand, and you have the higher court subsequently granting him interim bail even as he was sent to jail, and it was already the end of the day. It's the documentation which was expected to take shorter, but it does appear that it is even now continuing, because we can see the crowds that are still there outside the jail and outside his home as well, waiting for the star to return home.
Earlier, the film fraternity reacted to Allu Arjun's arrest. Actors Raza Murad and Varun Dhawan had defended Allu Arjun, claiming that the stampede can't be the actor's responsibility alone.
I feel जो safety protocols है वो हर चीज एक एक्टर सिर्फ अपने ऊपर नहीं ले सकता है. We can tell people around us, जैसे कि हम लोग अभी मैं इसी के बात कर सकता हूँ. Cinepolis ने बहुत अच्छा प्रबंध किया है यहाँ पे, and we are grateful to them on that. And जो हादसा हुआ है वो बहुत दर्दनाक है. Very sorry, send my condolences. But at the same time, I think जो आप ब्लेम है सिर्फ एक इंसान पे नहीं डाल सकते.
भगदड़ मच गई, एक आदमी की मौत हो गई, लोग घायल हो गए. अब इसमें एक्टर का क्या कसूर है? थिएटर की जिम्मेदारी जो है थिएटर के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की, वो तो एक्टर के हाथ में नहीं है. अगर भगदड़ मची है तो उस क्राउड को कंट्रोल करना तो एक्टर का काम नहीं है. अब अगर यही वजह है गिरफ्तारी की, तो ये वजह मेरी समझ से बाहर है.
Staying with the news from Telangana, and the state governor there has approved an ACB probe into BRS leader KT Rama Rao over alleged irregularities to the tune of 55 crores during the 2023 Formula E race in Hyderabad. The funds were allegedly approved on KTR's instructions, bypassing statutory norms. Uma Sudhir has more.
The government of Telangana had sought the approval of the governor in order to begin the ACB probe against Mr. KT Rama Rao, because the Revant Reddy Reddy government seems to have wanted to avoid the kind of lapses that happened in the neighboring state of Andhra Pradesh when the YSRCP dispensation of that time had failed to get the governor's nod for approving the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu in what was called as a multi-crore skill development scam. And therefore, in court, that case had become weaker. And therefore, in this particular case, it relates to alleged financial irregularities in funding of one of the 4 seasons of the Formula E races that was to happen here. And to conduct the 9, 10, 12, 11 and 12 seasons of the race, the Municipal Administration Department had signed a tripartite agreement with the Formula E organizers and Ace Next Generation Private Limited. And Subsequently, Ace Next had dropped out of it unilaterally in the second season, citing losses in the first season. And the then municipal administration officer, Principal Secretary Mr. Arvind Kumar, had on the advice, oral instructions we are told of, K.T. Ramarao had transferred 55 crore rupees to the organizers of the Formula E, and that transfer, the HMDA then transferred the amount, dropping Ace Next as the promoter, and then the government had later included the Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority as the promoter. So all this was considered as something that was not there in the statute, and therefore there is a probe that was ordered, because when Arvind Kumar was questioned, he had said that he had done it on the oral instructions of the minister. The minister, of the then minister, and K.T. Ramarao has also admitted that there were oral instructions that were given, and he said that was only to ensure that the Hyderabad brand name does not go down. So the ACB is now likely to begin this probe.
Shifting focus now to the Parliament, and debate on the Constitution began in Lok Sabha on Friday, with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh leading the charge on behalf of the government. Initiating the debate, Defence Minister critiqued the opposition's narrative, saying that the Constitution is not the prerogative of a single party. From the opposition side, Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi delivered her maiden speech, criticising the BJP-led government for allegedly weakening the Constitution. She also raked up the Unnao rape case and Sambhal violence in her speech. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to reply to the debate on Saturday.
विपक्ष के कई नेता संविधान की प्रति अपनी जेब में रखकर घूमते हैं। असल में उन्होंने बचपन से ही यही सीखा है। उन्होंने पीढ़ियों से अपने परिवार में संविधान को जेब में ही रखे थे। लेकिन अध्यक्ष महोदय, भारतीय जनता पार्टी संविधान को सिर माथे पर लगाती है। मैं आज यह स्पष्ट करना चाहता हूं अध्यक्ष महोदय कि हमारा संविधान किसी एक पार्टी की देन नहीं है। भारत का संविधान भारत के लोगों के द्वारा, भारत के विचारों के साथ, भारत के मूल्यों के अनुरूप बनाया गया एक अनपैरेलल्ड ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव यह डॉक्यूमेंट है। हमारा संविधान प्रोग्रेसिव है, प्रगतिशील है, समावेशी है।
अध्यक्ष महोदय जी, ये सरकार आर्थिक न्याय का सुरक्षा कवच तोड़ रही है। आज संसद में बैठी ये सरकार बेरोजगारी और महंगाई से जूझ रही हमारी जनता को क्या राहत दे रही है। कृषि के कानून भी बड़े बड़े उद्योगपतियों के लिए बन रहे हैं। सही एमएसपी को छोड़िए, डीएपी तक नहीं मिल रहा है। संविधान में सामाजिक, आर्थिक और राजनीतिक न्याय का वादा है। ये वादा एक सुरक्षा कवच है जिसको तोड़ने का काम शुरू हो चुका है। लैटरल एंट्री और निजीकरण के जरिए ये सरकार आरक्षण को कमजोर करने का काम कर रही है। अगर लोकसभा में ये नतीजे नहीं आए होते तो ये संविधान बदलने का काम भी शुरू कर लेते। सच्चाई ये है अध्यक्ष महोदय कि आज संविधान बार बार इसलिए कह रहे हैं क्योंकि इस चुनाव में इनको पता चल गया कि इस देश की जनता ही इस संविधान को सुरक्षित रखेगी। कि इस चुनाव में हारते जीतने से इन्हें एहसास हुआ कि ये संविधान बदलने की बात इस देश में नहीं चलेगी।
ये अध्यक्ष महोदय कैसी चर्चा संविधान की जो है बिना प्रधान की। अध्यक्ष महोदय, इस सरकार में जो लोकतंत्र के साथ खिलवाड़ हुआ है, इतना कभी खिलवाड़ नहीं हुई होगी। संविधान को परतंत्र बनाकर जो लोग राज करना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए आज़ादी का अमृतकाल सिर्फ एक जुमला है। संविधान को बचाने के लिए एक और करो या मरो आंदोलन की जरूरत है। इसलिए अध्यक्ष महोदय, हम आपको भरोसा दिलाते हैं, पिछले चुनाव में भी बहुत सारे सत्ता पक्ष के माननीय लोग ये कहते थे कि हमें इतनी सीटें मिल जाएंगी तो हम संविधान बदल देंगे। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं आपके माध्यम से जनता का धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने 400 पार के नारे को गिरा दिया और विपक्ष को इतनी ताकत दे दी कि इनकी जो सपना था संविधान बदलने को, सपने को तोड़ने का काम किया।
इस संविधान के प्रति जितनी जिम्मेदारी सत्तारूढ़ दल की है, जितनी जिम्मेदारी सरकार की है, इस संविधान के प्रति उतनी ही जिम्मेदारी प्रतिपक्ष की है। आज जो सदन के संविधान की बात करते हैं, संविधान के आरक्षण की बात करते हैं, मैं देखता हूं कि जब सत्र चल रहा है तो सदन में उपस्थित रहने के बजाय कभी हाथरस जा रहे हैं, कभी संभल जा रहे हैं। ये कितना संवैधानिक दायित्व का निर्वहन कर रहे हैं, कदाचित पूरा देश देख रहा है कि शायद ये संविधान की
Both alliances, the ruling one and the opposition one, took this debate very seriously, which is why Rajnath Singh, the defense minister, was asked to initiate the debate, and he made two very important points. One, of course, he said that the constitution is not the gift of one party. He, in fact, made it a point to mention leaders, people like leaders and people like Veer Savarkar, and for that matter, Madan Mohan Malviya. He also spoke about the Constituent Assembly women who actually, made it a point to contribute their bit to the constitution. He also said that India is actually on the path to rise to becoming a rising power. In fact, he spoke about all the achievements of the government, and he said that the BJP only has internalized the working, the ideals of the Indian Constitution, whereas the Congress party has completely taken it to the level of optics. In fact, he said that the Congress leaders have learnt it from their forefathers to just have a copy of Constitution in their pocket and not really aligned by its ideals. On the other hand, it was Priyanka Gandhi who made her debut speech in the parliament, and this speech was very important because it could have given a glimpse into what kind of politics she would, depend on, especially in the parliament. Will it align with her brother's politics? And it was very clear that she spoke, the central part of her speech was social justice. She spoke about inequality in the country. She spoke about privatization. She spoke about lateral entry. So it is very clear that she's not really going to, in some ways, divert from her brother's politics. It really showed us a glimpse of what her politics would look like in the coming days. And she made this very important point that she alleged that there is a sense of fear in the country, and it is similar to what existed during the time of the British. And she, in fact, brought the debate back to the Constitution, saying that if the BJP had not gotten the reduced mandate that it has now in the Lok Sabha elections, it would have altered the Constitution. Now, that's a claim that she made.
Staying with Parliament news, and One Nation, One Election bill, which is being touted as a game-changer bill by the government, is likely to be introduced in Parliament on Monday. Sunil Prabhu has more.
That's right. It will be introduced in the Lok Sabha, the House of the People. It's a constitutional amendment, 129, which basically has 4 constitutional amendments that are required, 4 amendments that have to be amended in the Constitution from 82A, and I don't want to get into the specifics because that's, getting into the minutiae. But the larger picture is about extending the House, the, nomenclature which is required to ensure, as per the Cohen report, the, committee its findings have been accepted, and so it's in that context that the Constitution is being amended, along with a subsequent bill which deals with the Union Territories, which they didn't do in the Women's Reservation Bill, which they did later. In this case, they're doing it together, so once and for all. As we have been reporting, this is the first phase. It has been circulated to members of Parliament to peruse, and if they have to raise any objections and give notices, that can be done, and it will be introduced on the floor of the House in the Lok Sabha as early as Monday.
We'll be taking a short break at this point. Don't go anywhere. News and updates will continue on the other side. Welcome back. Now, Shondeep Ghosh, the former principal of RG Kar Medical College implicated in the horrific Kolkata rape and murder case, has been granted bail due to the CBI's failure to file a charge sheet within the mandatory 90-day period. Despite this, Shondeep Ghosh will remain in custody, will remain in jail due to a separate ED case. The victim's mother, overwhelmed by grief, has criticized the CBI, stating that they have failed in their duty.
আমরা খুব হতাশার মধ্যে আছি, কোনো বলার মতো কোনো কথা নেই আমাদের কাছে। সিবিআই 90 দিনের মধ্যে চার্জশিট দেয়নি, তাই ওদের জামিন হয়ে গেছে। আর কি বলবো বলুন?
देखिए, आर्चीकर का जब मेन मामला था रेप एंड मर्डर, कलकत्ता पुलिस 24 आवर्स के अंदर संजय राय द मेन एक्यूज्ड को पकड़ लिया था, लेकिन ये सम एंटी गवर्नमेंट पब्लिक वो बोल रहा था वी वांट सीबीआई एंड नाउ सीबीआई द केस इज हैंड ऑफ सीबीआई एंड नाउ हम लोग ये इंफॉर्मेशन मिला वो संदीप घोष और दूसरा अभिजीत उसका बेल हो गया है। जिसका कोई बेस नहीं था, सम रॉन्ग इंफॉर्मेशन डिस्टॉर्टेड, वो लोग मैलाइन करना चाहते थे सरकार को, स्टोरीज फ्रेम कर रहे थे। इवन उसका सीबीआई भी वो एस्टेब्लिश नहीं कर सकते।
There are two things. One is, of course, the Kolkata police, which initially investigated the case, have maintained that there was only one accused in this case. He was arrested. The evidence against him was collected. It was presented and handed over to the CBI. The CBI presented the accused in court. Based on that evidence collected by the Kolkata police, they filed a charge sheet. And then, of course, they, that trial of Sanjay Roy, the main accused in this case, is on. But afterwards, what happened was there were many people who claimed that, there were more people involved or that there was destruction of evidence, something that the police strongly denied. The CBI also, remember, had told the Supreme Court that they believed there was a conspiracy, that they were looking at different angles, and the Supreme Court had commented on that. The judges on the bench had commented on that. But however, there is no evidence of destruction of evidence, and that's something that seems to at least so far hold, because the CBI has not been able to file a charge sheet, a supplementary charge sheet, for the alleged destruction of evidence that they arrested the former principal Sandeep Ghosh and the former officer in charge of the Tala police station for. Now, the Kolkata police have from the beginning maintained that there was no destruction of evidence, that it was simply an attempt to malign the police when they had done actually a good job by arresting the accused within hours and crucially securing all the evidence that's now being used in the criminal trial against him. So why the CBI told the Supreme Court what it did, or why it mentioned in its initial charge sheet about the conspiracy and then not being able to file a supplementary charge sheet to back up what it claimed, is something that the CBI will be able to answer.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Prayagraj on Friday and emphasized that the Mahakumbh Mela is a Mahayagya of unity and set to elevate India's cultural and spiritual identity. Surveying preparations for the upcoming Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj, Prime Minister Modi inaugurated 167 key development projects valued at over 5,500 crore. These initiatives are designed to bolster infrastructure, including numerous rail and road developments and new ghats to accommodate the millions expected at the Mahakumbh.
ये महाकुंभ एकता का महायज्ञ है। जब संचार के आधुनिक माध्यम नहीं थे, तब कुंभ जैसे आयोजनों ने बड़े सामाजिक परिवर्तनों का आधार तैयार किया था। कुंभ में संत और ज्ञानी लोग मिलकर समाज के सुख दुख की चर्चा करते थे। साथियों, कुंभ और धार्मिक यात्राओं का इतना महत्व होने के बावजूद पहले की सरकारों के समय इनके महात्म्य पर ध्यान नहीं दिया गया। आज केंद्र और राज्य में भारत के प्रति आस्था, भारतीय संस्कृति को मान देने वाली सरकार है।
And finally, Raj Kapoor, the great showman of Indian cinema, celebrates his 100th birth anniversary on December 14th. To remember the legend and his work, and early centenary celebrations being held in Mumbai. We go over to Abira, who's reporting from the red carpet.
And we are here at at the Raj Kapoor 100th birth anniversary film festival, which has started today, and this is the grand red carpet. All the Kapoor family is here, from Karishma Kapoor, Kareena Kapoor, Saif Ali Khan, Ranbir Kapoor, Alia Bhatt, and everybody is here. They are standing at the entrance to greet all the guests. We have a lot of veteran actors and actresses walking in. We have also seen the Nanda family here. As you can see, they are all standing at the entrance. Ranbir and Alia are greeting everybody. You can see Kareena and Karishma also joining them. We can see Karishma's father. If you can see, he's trying to get inside. They have been sitting here at the entrance, and now is the time when they are going to walk the red carpet. It is a very, very memorable moment for the Kapoor family. The films that Raj Kapoor has made has been restored by the family itself. Arman Jain, who is a grandson of Raj Kapoor, has turned producer with this, and he has restored most of the films of Raj Kapoor, and the screening starts today and it continues for 3 days. It starts today on 13th of December and it continues. The Kapoor family is right now walking the red carpet. From grandchildren to children, everybody of Raj Kapoor, they are here to celebrate him, the legend, the filmmaker and the actor that he was. It's his 11th birth anniversary. There is live music going on. People are it's a fan frenzy here. The media wants a shot of each one of them, from Raj Kapoor's daughter, son, grandchildren, everybody walking down the red carpet. Here we get you all the visual exclusively.
And on that note, it's a wrap from my side. News continues right here on NDTV.